Alright, let's dive in. There exists a phantom Famicom that could only be found in hot spring inns and hotels, called the Famicom Box. It was a commercial use Famicom that ordinary consumers could not buy. It was once installed nationwide in ryokan and love hotels. The users could choose from about 15 popular titles such as Mario, and by inserting 100 yen, they could play for around 15 minutes. For some reason, the controllers were overseas NES controllers rather than Japanese Famicom ones, and a light gun was also included. It seems that light gun could be used with the compatible software. At the time, these units were leased nationwide under a 5-year contract, costing 2,350 yen per month. And many people probably remember seeing one at a ryokan they stayed at as a child. However, as of 2025, almost none remain. Both the console and the software have become premium items. Some inns reportedly still operate them in active service today. So now, move on. There exists an insanely rare Pepsi Nintendo collaboration DS with only 1,000 units in the world. The Pepsi Get Nintendo DS campaign, announced on February 15th, 2005, was a collaboration between Nintendo and Suntory, and eligible products were 500 milliliter and 1.5 liter PET bottles of Pepsi Cola and Diet Pepsi, with one entry ticket attached per bottle. So 7 tickets counted as one entry, and the winners received the Pepsi Limited Edition Nintendo DS. The design reflected Pepsi colors, unified in blue tones, with a special console and case printed with the Pepsi logo. As a corporate club verification item, only an extremely small number exists worldwide. Additionally, this campaign occurred just after the Nintendo DS launched in December 2004, during a period of explosive popularity when the console was constantly sold out in stores. As a result, consumers even bought large quantities of Pepsi just to obtain DS. Even in 2025, its rarity remains high. So even untested junk units sell for 50,000 to 80,000 yen, and complete sets with the accessories can be valued at up to 190,000 yen. All right, so let's go to the next one. Prototype controller from the legendary Nintendo PlayStation sold for 4 million yen at a US auction. In 1980, Nintendo and Sony were developing a next generation console for the Super Famicom with a CD-ROM functionality, aiming to achieve live action video and full voice content impossible with cartridges. This console was named with the Nintendo PlayStation and was designed to support both Super Famicom cartridges and CD-ROMs. However, disputes over the contracts and rights between Nintendo and Sony caused the dream collaboration to collapse. So only about 200 prototypes were ever produced, and most of which were disposed of. They make it in an ultra phantom console with almost no confirmed surviving units worldwide. And in 2024, a controller from this Nintendo PlayStation prototype was listed at the US auction house Heritage Auctions and sold for approximately 4 million yen. The design is almost identical to a Super Famicom controller. but the center bears both their Super Famicom and the Sony logos. Its origin has not been disclosed, and there is a speculation that developer may have taken it just before it was discarded. Okay, so next up, the top three saddest worst selling game consoles in history. And the third place, Atari Jaguar, released by Atari in 1993 and in Japan in 1994. Worldwide sales totaled approximately 250,000 units. Its phone keypad-like controller divided opinions, and its connectors were prone to failure. It is said that only about 3,000 units sold in Japan, contributing to Atari's effective collapse. In second place, PC FX, released in 1994 by NGC and Hudson as the successor to the PC Engine. Despite the industry rapidly shifting to 3D, it lacked 3D specialization and quickly became outdated. Priced aggressively at 49,800 yen, with a few software titles. So only 110,000 units sold out of 400,000 shipped. First place, Pippin at World. So a Black History console developed by Apple and Bandai. Despite offering internet services in 1996, it required a monthly fee of 2,000 yen and charged 10 yen per minute after 10 hours. With a high price of 49,800 yen, it failed completely, selling only 42,000 units, the worst selling console in history. So, okay, let's go more. The unbelievably huge Game Boy. Big Game Boy is absurdly massive. Developed in 1989 for promotional purposes, it was sold to retailers from the early 1990s through around 2000 as an in-store display unit, measuring approximately 50 and 157 centimeter. It contains a CRT display capable of playing demo footage and promotional videos. A real Game Boy could be connected to play games on a large screen, but the giant D-pad and buttons were decorative. The actual control was done using the connected Game Boy. Inside, it was constructed from wooden plywood, creating a striking contrast with its appearance. It occasionally appears online or in second-hand shops, selling for anywhere from 500,000 and to as high as 2.2 million yen. Incidentally, there is a location deep in the mountains of Kagawa Prefecture, where a heavily modified Big Game Boy has been turned into a post box, becoming a minor local attraction. And here is another one. If you own this, you should never let it spin. It's ultra rare. The Nintendo DS Lite Giratina Edition, released in 2008, is a special model featuring Giratina on the console. It was only available through lottery via the Pokemon Daisuke Club and sold exclusively at the Pokemon centers, making it extremely hard to obtain. The box and the DX Lite feature Giratina artwork, likely produced due to the popularity of the movie at the time. Additionally, buyers could enter a lottery to receive an original Giratina figure, part of the Pokemon Platinum pre-order bonus. Today, purchasing the DS Lite in good condition, along with the figure, often exceeds 100,000 yen, and its value is expected to rise further due to increasing retro game demand. Alright, next. So there exists a legendary accessory that lets you print photos anywhere from a Game Boy. Released in 1998, the pocket printer worked with the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color, allowing in-game data to be printed on special paper. When linked with the Pokemon camera, real photos could be printed anywhere. The paper was sold in raw form for 500 yen with adhesive backing, so prints could be stuck and played with. It supported the output from various games, for example, Pokemon Gold and Silver allowed Pokédex data and the images to be printed. However, prints were monochrome at 160 dot resolution. The quality was poor and it required 6 AA batteries. Due to poor cost performance and unclear use cases, it barely sold and was discontinued. So now let's keep going. A legendary sewing machine that links with the Game Boy Color existed. Released by sewing machine manufacturer Jagger, Note was a computer sewing machine designed to combine with the Game Boy Color. By launching dedicated software and selecting stitch patterns from the menu, and the embroidery unit would automatically stitch their chosen design. And the combinations could be performed simply by operating the Game Boy Color. With the Mario Family software, users could embroider 25 different Mario characters. Due to its extreme niche appeal, both Nuotto and the Mario Family sold poorly. Today, they are premium items with complete sets selling for around 250,000 yen. Okay, next up, there exists a Phantom television with a built-in Super Famicom. Released by Shop in December 1990, the SF1 integrated the Super Famicom directly into the TV, and cartridge slots were located on top with the controller ports beneath the screen. It was sold in 14-inch and 21-inch models, priced at 100,000 yen and 133 yen, and respectively. Due to limited production in Japan, only release pristine units now command premium prices. With the auctions reaching around 440,000 yen, it is considered a high-value collector's item rarely seen overseas. So, alright, one more. A revolutionary Game Boy, actually that was ahead of its time, but cancelled. Work Boy. Work Boy aimed to turn the Game Boy into a productivity tool, featuring 12 smartphone-like functions such as a phone book, calculator, and scheduler using a small keyboard. Introduced in magazines and on TV in 1992, it was scheduled for release by year-end. However, it was suddenly cancelled, reportedly due to its price of $89.99, equal to the Game Boy's original price. After the Game Boy price dropped, the company concluded no one would buy a tool more expensive than the console itself. For years, Workboy was considered an urban legend until YouTuber Rio Robotoson discovered this carded unit in 2020. After 20 years, it was confirmed real, and leaked software data allowed it to be successfully operated. Now, switching gears a bit, the world's first commercial video game console, Odyssey, released in August 1972 by Magnavox in the US for $99.95, about $670 today. That set included 12 games, primarily ball-based games where players bounced a dot back and forth using magnetic movement. The games were switching using overlays, transparent sheets placed on the TV screen, and the cards that altered the internal circuitry rather than software itself. The gameplay relied on imagination, dice, and the cards, making it more like a board game than modern video games. A light gun set allowed shooting games, with the gun manufactured by a Japanese toy company. Alright, here's a wide one, and shockingly blatant bootleg console that spawned China's reputation as a copycat nation. Despite its impressive exterior, opening reveals a nearly empty board. The AC adapter directly reused designs from the Game Boy Advance SP and the original DS. The internal games were shamelessly copied, earning criticism even within China. Known as a Game Child, it had several built-in games, with a Mark II version that only increased the count to 11. Another variant, the Holy Station, resembled a PlayStation, but instead of a CD-ROM drive, it used cartridges and was actually a Famicom clone, raising the question of why it copied PlayStation's design at all. And finally, ultra rare Nintendo limited consoles also exist. The Game Boy Advance SP Pikachu Edition Yellow featured the Pikachu artwork on the console, initially sold exclusively at the Pokemon centers within stores reservations. It later appeared online after March 5th. Today, unopened units have sold for around 300,000 yen. The Nintendo Game Cube Char Azunable custom box features Char's colors, logos on the console and the controller, and they included the Zaku figure and a secret disc. Complete used sets average around 100,000 yen, with the junk units still exceeding 30,000 yen. The Game Boy Color Pokemon Pinball Limited model was awarded to only 40 top players in a tournament. Due to its extreme scarcity, pristine, and units are nearly miraculous. So with the auction prices reaching 2.2 million yen. So if you see any of these, let us know in the comments. And thanks for sticking around to the world, to the end. Thank you very much today. Bye bye.